guys, the next video is going to be talking about some financial stuff. I wanted to fill you in on my side of what was going on financially and why that was causing so much tension between my mother and I. I can't go into her financials because she has explicitly told me in the past not to talk to people about that, but I can talk about mine. Like I said in my introduction video, I moved into my parents' home November of 2021. This was around the tail end of where COVID was at its worst. And the whole plan was for me to eventually save up enough money to move out. I was originally living in an apartment where I was paying $550 of rent, and then I had to pay my own utilities, which were about maybe $100 a month. And then internet would be another maybe $100. And then, of course, my phone, and I got most of my food from the food bank. I wasn't working at the time because of the pandemic, so I was receiving CERB payments, and those were about to run out. So when I moved back in with my mother, we sat down for a discussion surrounding rent. It was decided that I would pay my parents $800 a month, but because my mother is on I don't know how to word this. Because my mother is on a certain government program, she only receives a certain amount every month. And if she goes above a certain amount, she can get money deducted. So me paying $800 a month would have that amount deducted. So my mother had me help her figure out a way to get around that. So the decision was made that I would pay $400 on the 1st and $400 on the 15th. The program would be informed of the $400 on the 1st as a rental payment. They would not be informed of the $400 on the 15th unless someone reported it to them. And the story behind that would be, I'm just paying for my food that month. In other words, fraud. Either way, the $400 on the 15th was meant to be specifically for my food. That's what I was paying for, my food only, according to the original agreement. Mind you, the $400 for food did not include things like juice, milk, fruits, snacks of any kind. Basically, the $400 only covered my 3 meals a day and water. That's it. If it was found that I had gotten into the juice or milk, even for a single sip, I would get a huge lecture. Mind you, that my 16-year-old sibling was under the same rules. My parents were going to stop providing them snacks and juice and milk. They had to pay for their own with a part-time job, as did the eldest of my step-siblings. So most people think that's a little odd, but it gets worse. So the pandemic ended up reshaping the job market, and the only places that were hiring were part-time. The decision was that on December of 2021, I would pay my mother, instead of the $400 on the 1st and $400 on the 15th, I would pay $100 on the 1st and $100 on the 15th. This was because I was working a part-time job and wasn't getting very many hours. However, she was still charging me $800 a month. So now I'm building up a debt with my parents. I finally managed to land a better job in June of 2022, and my payments were finally changed to $200 on the 1st, $200 on the 15th. But again, I'm still being charged $800. August 15th, I was given a 15-day notice that I would have to start paying the full $800 come September. I didn't get a good enough paying job to afford that until September 5th. I was a casual employee, as all new employees for this place are, but I was still getting enough hours to at least almost meet the $800 a month. We also discussed sometime in the autumn of 2022, me officially owning Zen, who has been featured in a couple of my videos. He was a senior cat that had really connected with me. So the decision was, if I could pay for all of his needs for an entire year, his ownership would be officially moved to me. Unfortunately, as you know, January 14th, I was forced to flee. I will give more context videos as needed, but this is pretty much the biggest thing that my mother and I were constantly fighting about, as I could barely pay it, and I ended up racking up a huge debt of, I believe, almost $7,000 with her. Because even though I wasn't paying the full amount in the beginning, I was still being charged the full amount, which I don't believe it's okay to force your children into debt to you.